Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Kev, and welcome back to the channel. First off, I know it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded, and that's because I was actually out on the road with Cydeways for our Western Regional Get Sprung headline tour. A huge thank you to everybody who came out to the shows. The tour was amazing, the crowds were incredible, and we seriously had such a blast every single night. So thank you so much, guys. And actually, speaking of which, this guitar right here, this Knaggs Kenai, was my #1 guitar for that entire tour. And actually, this is pretty much the guitar I use almost exclusively live with Cydeways these days. And it's also actually become one of my absolute go-to studio guitars as well. So I figured it was finally time to dedicate an entire video to this thing because honestly, I just love this guitar, and it actually completely changed my perspective on single-cut guitars in general. Before we dive deeper into the Kenai here, a quick little bit of housekeeping. If you're a guitarist, musician, or you just love nerding out on gear, subscribe to the channel below and ring the bell so you're notified the next time I drop a video. It helps support the channel, keeps me doing what I'm doing, and I just really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. Now, before I get into the specs and tones and all that stuff, I should probably mention something. I have never really been a huge Les Paul guy. Throughout my entire career, I've always gravitated way more toward Fender-style guitars like Strats and Teles. They've just always felt more natural to me, but when the Cydeways project started evolving, I realized I really needed a proper dual-humbucker guitar that could cover heavier sounds, thicker cleans, bigger lead tones, all of that. And that's what led me to the Kenai. So I got this guitar in 2023, and honestly, I have not looked back since. To me, this guitar feels like a Les Paul on steroids. It has all the qualities that I do like about a Les Paul, the sustain, the thickness, the punch, the authority, but it eliminates pretty much every part of the traditional Les Paul experience that I personally never connected with. This thing is lighter, more ergonomic, more articulate, more open sounding, and way more comfortable when playing longer gigs. And for my playing style specifically, it just works. So for those of you who may not know, Knaggs Guitars was founded by legendary luthier Joe Knaggs and Peter Wolf back in 2009. Joe was previously a master builder and head of R&D at PRS, and you can absolutely feel that level of craftsmanship and attention to detail in these instruments. These guitars are hand-built in Maryland by an incredibly experienced small team, and every single aspect of this guitar feels intentional. The craftsmanship is honestly ridiculous. Everything from the fretwork to the neck carve to the finish work to the hardware installation, it all feels extremely high-end and dialed in. This particular guitar has a cream finish, natural flamed maple binding, a mahogany body with a maple top, a mahogany neck, East Indian rosewood fretboard with block inlays, ebony headstock veneer, nickel hardware, Clouson tuners, a bone nut, and a pair of bare knuckle mule humbuckers. And the whole guitar only weighs about 8 pounds, and that weight is a huge part of why I love this thing. One of the biggest differentiators with the Kenai is the body design. It's slightly slimmer than a traditional Les Paul, and there's a ton of really thoughtful contouring throughout the body that makes it incredibly comfortable to play. It sits against your body better, the arm contour feels better, the upper fret access feels better, everything about it just feels more refined ergonomically. And because the guitar is slightly slimmer and lighter, it has this really unique tonal quality that I absolutely love. It still sounds focused and huge when you need it to, but there's also this openness and airiness to the sound that you don't always get from heavier single-cut guitars. It breathes more, there's more clarity in the mid-range, notes separate better, complex chords stay articulate, but then the second you throw gain on it, it absolutely rips. That balance is really what makes this guitar special to me. It genuinely covers an insane amount of ground stylistically. Clean tones, amazing. Edge-of-breakup stuff, perfect. Higher gain tones, still super tight and articulate. And I think a huge part of that also comes from the bare-knuckle Mule humbuckers. These are lower output PAF style humbuckers, and I think that's a massive reason why this guitar feels so dynamic and versatile. They don't compress too hard, they clean up beautifully, they respond incredibly well to pick attack and volume knob adjustments, and even though they're not super high output pickups, the guitar retains a ton of articulation, clarity, and remains tight even under gain. And to me, that's the sweet spot. You get all the fullness and body you want from a humbucker guitar, but still retain definition and note separation. Now, I want to let you guys hear each pickup position completely isolated through an amp that's just teetering on the edge of breakup, so you can really hear exactly what this guitar sounds like on its own. I've added a little bit of reverb to taste. The neck pickup on this guitar is incredible. It's big and full sounding, but it never gets muddy or overly bass heavy. And that's something I'm super sensitive to with neck humbuckers, because a lot of them can get woofy really quickly. But this pickup stays focused and articulate. So whether you're playing complex cluster chords, jazz voicings, melodic lines, or ambient textures, everything still stays really clear. It has warmth, but it also has definition. This is probably my favorite clean position on the guitar. It has that perfect plunky rhythmic sound that works unbelievably well for funkier parts, reggae stuff, arpeggiated riffs, and tighter rhythmic playing. There's almost this percussive quality to it that I absolutely love, and it just sits perfectly in a mix. And then the bridge pickup is just ridiculously balanced. Again, that's really the word I keep coming back to with this guitar, balance. The treble, mids, and bass all feel incredibly even. It's articulate and clear, but still full-bodied. It's tight enough for higher gain tones and aggressive rhythm playing, but still thick and rich enough to sound amazing clean. That's not always easy to achieve with a bridge humbucker. Usually you sacrifice one side or the other. This somehow does both amazingly well. So overall, this guitar has genuinely become one of my favorite instruments I've ever owned. It's incredibly inspiring to play. It records beautifully. It works live unbelievably well. And it's one of the few guitars I own that truly feels like it can handle basically any musical situation I throw at it. So if you're somebody who likes the idea of a Les Paul style guitar, but maybe wants something more ergonomic, more articulate, more versatile, slightly lighter weight, and a little more refined feeling overall, I seriously cannot recommend checking out a Kenai enough. It's a phenomenal instrument, and beyond just the specs and craftsmanship and woods and hardware and all that stuff, this guitar just has personality. It feels alive in your hands, and ultimately, that's really what keeps me coming back to it over and over and over again. So huge shout out to Knaggs Guitars for building such incredible instruments. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what guitars you've been playing lately. And if you want to see more videos like this, demos, touring rigs, studio breakdowns, gear deep dives, all that stuff, definitely let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.